Here we are.
Okay, hello guys, good afternoon, and my name is Franca, and we have
Lou
and
Luke.
Okay, so today we are kind of like doing pre-podcast.
It's like a prototype podcast.
Yeah.
Proto podcast.
Okay, so
Protocast.
Protocast, nice.
okay, so
Welcome to the Protocast.
Protocast. Yeah. His music keeps on cutting out. It's really annoying.
Yeah.
He's got terrible Wi-Fi.
okay, so
Call it just terrible. Sorry.
we are going to be talking about domestic violence, or we could call it domestic abuse. So, can you define domestic abuse or domestic violence
Aha.
to your best understanding?
I took notes on this. I did
Good.
research for this
Good.
exact topic.
Good.
Okay. Domestic abuse / violence is abuse or violence by another person against another domestics in a domestic setting, such as marriage or cohabitation. It's when an intimate partner commits a violent act towards the other partner.
Okay, do you have anything to say?
Not really. She basically just described it. But
Okay, so let me just add this to it. We have different type of domestic violence. Do you know any of it?
Yeah, it can also actually happen in heterosexual and homosexual relationships as well, which is actually quite disturbing, seeming as males do get most of the blame for abusive relationships, when actually women can be just as bad. And it does happen in female relationships and just male relationships. So no one's really, like, there's no specific gender which is always in the wrong. There's physical, there's verbal, there's emotional, there's economic, there's religious, which actually surprised me a lot.
that I
And
have.
reproductive and sexual.
Yeah, the thing about, religious abuse, I kind of know about it a little bit. Maybe later I'll share some of it.
Good.
Also racial as well.
Don't get me started on that. Don't get me started on that, folks.
Yes, our poor Italian boy has been
that.
bored by the public.
Yeah. Let's just say that. Yeah.
Okay, let me quickly note this, that whosoever is struggling with domestic violence, the national helpline you can call is 080-820-247. Let me take that again. 080-820-247. So whosoever is dealing with domestic violence and you don't know who to contact, you can actually call them and they will do something for you.
Sorry.
Well, before we get on to that, actually, a lot, one in 4 women get affected and 1 in 6 men get affected by, like, abuse of any kind.
Wait, 1 in 6 men?
Yeah, 1 in 6 men and 1 in 4 men. 4 women.
Oh, right, okay.
Which is actually kind of sad. Like, you can have a group of 4 women, and one of you is getting abused, whether it's physically, emotionally, sexually, religious,
Anyway.
etc. And it's heartbreaking because you don't even have to be an adult. It happens to children, it happens to parents, it happens to the elderly. It's just really sad.
Yeah. Oh boy, now that I'm thinking about it, there's actually I didn't even realize how many stories I had of domestic abuse.
And research added that 4,000 people commit suicide because of domestic violence
400.
every year. 400,000. 400.
Oh
my God, what am I saying?
400 people in the UK commit suicide each year after attending hospital for domestic abuse injuries in the previous 6 months, and 200 of them actually commit suicide on the day they went and got treated.
Yeah,
and it's heartbreaking that, like, people just feel like there's no way out anymore, and that's just the way they have to go. Like, they have to just leave because there's no escape from the person that's attacking them. It's heartbreaking. to be honest, domestic abuse has more repeated like crime. It's the most repeated crime with the same victim than any other like crime we currently see.
Well, it's easy to like think that because like if you think about it, right?
Only it counts for 16% of all crimes.
But that's the thing, because men or women, basically, if you think about it, every single person on this planet, in a way, likes power. Right?
Of course.
If someone has power over you, right, and you are doing nothing to basically
fight back.
Yeah.
fight back, in a way, the people will enjoy like that power and they will abuse that power. So that could be one of the reasons why it's such a like.
Yeah.
By the way, real quick, for anybody who doesn't know who we are, bear with me because I'm basically half Italian and I don't know by
and
half
I'm
of the words.
Nigerian, so
Yeah.
don't mind.
I'm English.
So yeah, just bear with us, please.
Just basic right here. I'm English. I'm privileged. Yeah, but it does on average take a victim 35 assaults. 35 assaults, 35 times of someone consistently abusing you for you to actually like tell someone or call the police.
Yeah.
And another important thing is that at times most people don't see domestic violence as something very serious. They just feel that, oh no, we just had a fight and then we'll settle it. And it's bad.
Yeah, to be honest, it leads to 104 women being killed a year and 30 men being killed a year.
That means women are 4 more victims in domestic violence. That's very
The reason why I laughed a little bit is because you're basically stating those things with facts and numbers. You know, in a way. I'll explain later. No, don't you worry. Just carry on.
If I'm the facts woman.
Exactly.
Instead of emotional. No emotion behind this person.
Yeah, right.
Just start sobbing. I'm sorry.
Cries in the corner.
Yeah, Ghost cries in the cupboard behind you. What is my life?
Dan pops out. Would have been funny though.
So yeah, it's really sad that like 104 women get murdered a year. Like, that's awful. And then 30 men, that's still pretty bad. And this is all in the UK, you mind? Like, this is just in the UK.
UK is just a little island. Think about something like, I don't know, America.
Yeah,
Russia.
America, Russia. Well, it's not as like looked down on in Russia, but in the US,
Yeah.
you know, that I bet it's 10 times as big as a number, if not more.
Yeah.
And it is heartbreaking because you think of all the lives that people could have lived, you think of all the family and friends they had, and then you sort of just taken away because someone decided you're going to be my victim today. I own you, so I get to decide what I do with you, kind of thing. And I bet some of these numbers include children, not just like husbands and wives. It also probably includes the elderly as well. And it is really distressing to like know that.
Most definitely, yeah.
Yeah.
So do you have any life story you want to share?
Oh, where to begin? Some of them are involving me, but I don't think I'll be sharing those. However, I do have a couple of stories. For example, my Italian grandmother, my nonna, she passed away this November.
Sorry.
She was like, what, 93?
I was a pretty good age to live.
I was so sure. The thing is, I was so sure she was gonna go to the hundreds. I was so
to be
sure.
honest.
She was a tough cookie, man. Yeah, she was just. The thing is though, with old age, you kind of get, your brain in a way starts to decay. Your personality and all that stuff. And with my nonna having so many bad, I don't want to say diseases, but
illnesses
in a way.
That's probably a better
like
way
I said,
to put it.
Italian, sorry.
It's alright.
But basically her back was basically messed up, her legs, basically all of her joints, and she has been a widow for about, I want to say more than 50 years or so.
50?
Oh my god.
And she's basically, she was basically constantly like in this house in the middle of nowhere, all alone, surviving. That's why I say she was a tough cookie. She used to, I remember the house was basically like in the countryside, like classical Italian countryside. So you would have fields of like, I don't know, olive trees, grapes, grapes for like wine. And that just...
You Italians have it good.
What is this? What is this? What is this? No. Basically, at the back of her house, she had this like this garden that she grew. She alone grew.
Really?
Yeah, and she had like this peach tree. She had everything. She used to water it every day. She used to go down.
She's such a tough little cookie.
Yeah. And the point I'm trying to make, right, is that even tough people like that can be subjected to abuse, right? Because of her old age, her mental state decaying, her physical state decaying as well. She couldn't be by herself anymore. So they hired a nurse, and the nurse was basically gonna stay there rent free, right? And the thing is, not only rent free, but they had to pay her to take care of my nonna. And that didn't work so well. She basically was rude in a way. She was really
Did she steal from you, Nana?
Yeah.
Did she steal money, or did she just steal things, or
both? She stole, and the thing is, right, this nurse was actually my
Just kind of related to you?
sort of
yeah,
a
she's
very distant relative?
well, not relative by blood. She's basically the girlfriend of one of my, I believe it's cousins, second grade cousin. And my cousin's like 50 years old. My second grade cousin, he's like 50 years old. But he's a great guy. He's an absolutely great guy. It's just her, she's evil. And she basically stole from her cupboard, her savings. She put her hands on her. She yelled at her.
Basically, she abused her.
Yeah. Your Nana must have been miserable.
Yeah, she was.
But how did you find out?
Well, because here's the thing. Sure, my Nana is a little bit slow, right, in a way, but because of her old age and everything. But she's not stupid. She's absolutely not stupid. She went to check the cupboard. A giant, I don't know how you call it in English, damigiana, like
A jar?
kind of a jar filled with olive oil, premium olive oil. Stolen, gone. Absolutely, it was this big.
That's so bad.
The nurse stole it.
Yeah, she stole it.
Oh my god, did she get punished for it?
No, because she kept denying it, and everyone believed the nurse.
They should have believed your Nana. She's the one that's like had to go through with it. It's not that she'd lie about it. What did she have to gain?
Like, I don't know, some people say like attention and everything.
Attention, really. This is why so much abuse gets just swept under the rug, because people are just like, it's just for attention. They just want attention. They just want people to see them and feel bad for them. Like, that's exactly why people don't talk out about many things.
Yeah.
Like, because people are always like, oh, it's just for attention. That's why people don't talk about sad topics like this, because it's for attention.
The trouble is when you try to talk about these things and you're trying to like basically reach out to get help, right? Usually the other person would consider your side, would consider, evaluate everything you say and do. But the thing is, if even the people that you reach out to are against you, then there isn't
much point. Did you believe your nana?
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%, 100%. She was
Were you
one
the
of
only
the
one that trusted her, or like believed her?
Yeah, basically my side of the family. So basically, me, my dad, my mom, we all believed her, obviously. And now here's the thing. I don't want to put shade on my Italian family, but in a way I kinda have to, because in some cases they're just not good people at all.
Yeah, sometimes people that you love aren't very good people.
My nana had basically five kids. Yeah. One of them was my dad. He's the youngest. He had a son and 3 sisters. Right? One of the sisters lives in Milan. Okay, so basically, imagine this is Italy. Okay, all of Italy. Milan is right here. Right? Is that like north? Okay. Imagine here is England. Right? Here is England, and here's Milan. Okay. Obviously, there's like other stuff here, but this is Milan, and this is where my nonna was. Basically, central Italy. It takes a 4-hour drive just to get there, if not even more. And she was stuck there with 2 of my aunts. Okay, those 2 aunts. Okay, in my opinion, right? When they want, they're good people, but in a way, in my opinion, they are the most evil people. Constant, how you say it, verbal abuse. Constant verbal abuse, and just basically any type of abuse imaginable, except like physical or sexual or anything like that. But she was living happily in Milan with I wasn't even born yet at this time. My mom and dad just had my sister, and they were living happily in this house in Milan, where you just go down I've seen the house where they stayed. It was like this little apartment, and it was just beautiful. You just go down. You have the baker on one side. There's the tram going. You had basically a stadium near there, a park. It was beautiful, like classical Italian city. And my nonna had nowhere to go, so my dad and my mom happily let her in, and they lived so good. They lived so happily. It was so nice.
And we're back.
Sorry.
My card ran out.
Technical difficulties.
So thank you for that
Lovely
story. It was so lovely. Thank
Yeah.
you for sharing it with us, and we are so sorry for your loss. So do you have any story to share?
I actually have 2 stories. One is personal, one is one that I've heard that's happened actually quite recently. The personal one is about also my nan, who when
Wait, before you carry on, notice that most stories are involving the elderly.
Exactly.
I think that is because since they're like more fragile in a way.
Yeah, people feel like they can take over them more and
Exactly.
dominate them.
And then when they want to like fight for themselves, people
They
just
can't.
just like overlook them.
And overpower them
Yeah.
as well.
They just take them
Yeah.
as delusional.
Exactly.
This was when my nan was. Well, this was when my dad was probably about 18 or something, or younger, to be honest. I'm not entirely sure, but basically, my nan was with my granddad. I refer to him as Fat Granddad because he is a jerk and he was large, so we call him Fat Granddad. So please do not judge me. You'll understand after I tell this story. Basically, he was abusing my nan, physically, verbally, emotionally, any way he could, and they broke up. And he got with this slut called Chris, and what they tried to do, they tried to poison her. They tried to fucking kill her. Yeah, so my nan is actually lucky to be alive because she suffered through all that abuse even after the relationship ended.
Here's the thing. How did they try to poison her?
They put like poison in her food.
And how did she survive?
I'm not entirely sure. My dad doesn't go into gruesome details. Yeah, but unfortunately, my nan has had to go for a lot in her life, and she still isn't in an overly happy marriage. It's just not abusive. It's just a bit. She does everything, and that's that.
That's to be noted that some people go through all types of abuse at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, that's sad.
Yeah, my nan's a fighter though. She's living life to the fullest. She's trying really hard. Unfortunately, she also does have breathing difficulties, and she does have a lot of illnesses. So hopefully we can get her through that, and she won't leave us anytime soon. Second story. It's not personal, but I've heard the story, and it's actually from our college. Basically, what happened was there was I think it was from the children's one, the children's care one, and basically, health and social, that's it. From health and social, one of the teachers. She was with her boyfriend, and he proposed, and it was like, oh, happy, happy, happy. And then over the summer, they got in a big fight, and he beat her, and he broke her neck. He almost killed her. She's lucky to be alive, but guess what? He don't get charged with anything.
Why? How come?
Because it's his first offence. Apparently that's the only reason he didn't get charged. If he killed her, it's because it's classed under domestic abuse.
Yeah, but the thing is, since it was his first time ever...
Yeah, breaking her neck, which is also assault, as well. They pretty much just sweeped it under the rug, or he had someone sweep it under the rug for him. And you know what? He's out there, and the poor lady, she isn't coming back. She isn't coming back to Northampton. She's running as far away as she possibly can from him.
So is she like, since her neck was broken, right? Is she like paralysed in a way?
No, she isn't paralysed, but he did break her neck.
Okay. So she doesn't have like, how you say it, like repercussions, like.
Like someone she could talk to?
No. I mean,
she doesn't have any, like, basically she did break her neck, but she came out and she was properly fixed. Luckily, she was so lucky.
Yeah.
He hurt
that is so
bad.
That is so risky breaking someone's neck, honestly. But
it normally kills people.
Yeah, that's what I'm. Like,
she's so lucky
I mean.
to be alive, but also so unlucky because now she's gonna live in constant fear that he's gonna come back.
the thing is, I can relate to this lady a little bit because I know a little bit about Shama, but I don't think I'll get into that. Maybe, I don't know. But this lady, right, I imagine her every day of her life, of her poor life, constantly having this feeling, right? This feeling always there, even when she's completely alone.
She's gonna be in constant fear now that
Constant
someone's
fear.
gonna be there. She's gonna feel so paranoid.
How do you think she's
everyone's
gonna
out to get her.
like, if she ever gets into a relationship, right? After that,
She isn't gonna trust them.
Yeah.
I doubt she's ever gonna get in a relationship again after that.
That's just. Yeah, that's just
Why do people do this? That is the utter question. Is it just because of power, or is it just because you think you're better than everyone else?
the thing is, right?
Or is it just because you've been abused as a child and you take it out on others?
Exactly. That's another thing.
Actually, I have another story about this. Unfortunately...
Personal or not?
Personal.
Okay.
Unfortunately, when I was younger and only like a year ago,
Yeah.
I was actually being emotionally abused. And it had literally been happening since probably I turned about 10 and I'm 17 now.
Will we keep this person in question anonymous?
Yeah, I'm going to keep this person anonymous. They won't watch this anyway. And I was being emotionally abused, and so was my mum, so was everyone else that lived in the house.
Yeah.
And it just got to the point where it was way too much. And I honestly, I'm not gonna lie here, I spent most of my nights in bed crying myself to sleep. And it was really difficult because I'd get shouted at even though I'd done nothing wrong. And the fights that happened between two people that were living in my house, they got so violent and they got so aggressive, and they got out of hand, and everyone was screaming and shouting, and it happened quite often when I was trying to go to sleep. So I was always tired, I was always feeling emotional, and it was so difficult.
I can imagine that. Usually when somebody enters a house or something, it should be a safe haven.
Exactly.
It should be a safe space where you can...
Yeah.
Just
And
relax.
at the time,
And then
I was also getting bullied as well. So I was having shit at school, shit at home. I didn't have a break. I even in my sleep, I was dreaming about one or the other. Like, it was a constant pain after pain after pain. And me and my mum, because of the emotional abuse, sometimes we sat on the driveway when we got back home, and we literally looked at each other and said, should we run away? Let's just say the person is better now, and they have realised what they were doing, and they're a much better person, but it still leaves emotional scars, and it still does hurt to think about.
so sorry about that.
It's fine. Yeah, it helps you grow stronger. I'm just glad the person wasn't physically violent towards anyone in the household, because that would have made
But
everything a
the
lot
worst
worse.
abuse ever is emotional
Exactly,
abuse.
because it sticks.
That just breaks you in a way. Physical wounds heal most of the time. But emotional wounds, they're the hardest.
Yeah, I have forgiven this person for everything they've put me through for several years, and it was so difficult to forgive them, especially since I went out with them I was away with them for a week, and they turned back into this emotionally abusive person that I knew over a year ago, and it really hurt because I honestly thought they would never turn back into that, but they did. And I think they must have realised, because I didn't talk to them for about a month. I refused to go see them for a month. And I think they got the picture, because they haven't done anything like that ever since.
Here's the thing. I have to congratulate you on the fact that you actually were able to forgive this person. that takes, in a way, so much strength. So props to you for that.
Thank you.
And second thing is, you did good doing that. If I don't know, let's say you do something wrong to me, right? And I don't forgive you. So I keep building this sense of anger towards you, and I do something bad again. But then you, whatever, you have that sense of anger and go back against me or someone that I love.
It's repetitive. It's just
an endless
backlash.
loop.
Yeah, and it just hurts more and more people if you don't. It was really difficult for me to forgive them because it was 6, maybe even more years of emotional abuse, and it hurt. It seriously did hurt. And eventually, when me and my family went separate ways, he tried to manipulate me to go with him, and it hurt because I felt like I was like they wanted me to go with them, and they were doing it when I was leaving to go somewhere else away from them. And it also hurt because they did not realise why it was happening this way. And it really did hurt. So I didn't once again I didn't see them for over a month because of what they did. And I soon got the picture.
That just scares you, in a way. You're scared of what people are able
to do, especially when they're family.
Any sort of abuse just break families. Like, just break up families. Different families are separated just because of
family
violence.
Family is something that you look up to. Family is something
somewhere
that
you should feel safe.
Exactly. So if you feel unsafe there, then where do you feel safe?
Exactly. Sometimes you have to create a new family with new people, and sometimes it ends just as badly. Because they weren't the people you thought they were, because they lied to you. This is why people go into gangs. This is why people start doing the bad things and trusting people they shouldn't trust. Start doing drugs, start drinking alcohol. Like, they start hanging out with the wrong people because their family just isn't there.
Let me just say this, right? I knew a person, right? He was so kind. He was so innocent.
Sorry, I gotta pause right here. We'll have to wrap up. Like,
can we just like, I don't know, finish this part here or continue later?
Yeah, that's fine. It's
right,
9 minutes past. We got like
let's just finish here.
All right, cool. Thank you guys. We'll be back soon. Bye.